Hey everybody, welcome to my channel here. My name is Kalen and this is Mongoose PB. And this is a brand new paintball channel that I'm trying to start here so that I can kind of make some tutorial videos, make some gameplay videos eventually, and try to help people learn how to play paintball better or try to learn about the gear that they have and what things you can do to improve your equipment as you go on. So the first marker that I'm going to be looking at today is one of my favorites out of the paintball markers that I have in my kit. It's a very basic, very popular marker, and that's the Tippmann A-5 that I have here. This is basically just a stock Tippmann A-5, and this is the marker that I will be using as my primary kit this coming season. I do have some more expensive markers. I have an electronic marker. I have a Planet Eclipse ETHA that I had used quite a bit last year, but wanted to take a step back, get back to some mechanical woods ball play, and try to get back to the fundamentals on how to play paintball effectively and using cover, picking your shots, trying to take as few shots as possible to conserve paint, and so on and so forth. So this is what I'm going with this year. It's a phenomenal marker for beginners or for people that are trying to do exactly what I'm trying to do and take a step back from just shooting as much paint as possible. But the thing that I like about this marker is that it's infinitely customizable. It's been around for over a decade now, and they've really done little to the design because this thing is already so solid that there's not a lot that you need to do to it to make it function better. But there are some things that you can do right out of the box that will improve your performance greatly to the point where you may not ever think that you need anything more than a Tippmann A-5. Now, honestly, if you're like me, and if you're a hobbyist and you like to collect things, you're going to get more paintball markers as time goes by. But this is a great place to start. And one of the things that you can do right off the bat, probably the most helpful thing that you can do to improve the performance of your marker, is just replacing the stock barrel. Now, the stock barrel that comes with the Tippmann A-5 is a short barrel, which I actually kind of like. It's a 9-inch barrel. It's made of brass. It's not made of aluminum. So design-wise, it's a little bit more old school. A lot of the older style, cheaper paintball markers had brass barrels like this one. But over time, they decided that aluminum was more functional. It's actually easier to hone and easier to polish, and it's more accurate and it's lighter than the brass barrels that used to come with the markers. If you take your finger and you run it on the inside of this one, you'll realize that it's not really polished or honed to the degree that you would see with some of the other barrels that are on the market. So, very first thing I would do is just get rid of, or just put this off to the side and get a new paintball barrel for your Tippmann A-5. Now, I did a lot of research about this, and one of the things that I realized was that I didn't necessarily want a longer barrel. I just wanted a barrel that was perhaps a better match to the paint that I was using as far as the bore size. I wanted it to be lighter. I wanted it to be ported better. I wanted it to have that mirror shine honing on the inside of it so that it would produce less drag on the marker, or on the paintballs rather. So I get more accuracy, more efficiency than what I was experiencing with the stock barrel. And after doing a little bit of research and putting some time and effort into looking at the different options that are out there, I settled on this little gem here. This is a Lapco Big Shot Assault barrel, and this is actually not designed specifically for the A-5. This is actually designed for the TIPX because it is an 8-inch barrel. So this one is shorter than the others that were made specifically for the Tippmann A-5, where they have A-5 threading on the barrels. But I liked the shortness of the stock barrel, so I didn't want to necessarily increase my length for the barrel. You can see them side by side here, they're virtually the same. I didn't want to increase the size of the barrel, but I just wanted something better that could replace it. And with this, I've pretty much found that. I chose the .690 bore size barrel, and I got the short one, like I said, because I wanted to be able to really tuck into corners, and I just wanted to be able to keep the length of the marker as short as possible. And so with that I found it. And then some also really cool perks about it. I mean, it has a removable tip. So with this one it has a birdcage muzzle flash replica, or like a simulated muzzle flash hider on the tip of it, and that just screws off. So that's kind of squeaky. You can remove that, and then you just have threads on the tip of it. So you can get a number of different replacement tips. So if you're somebody that likes to customize your markers, you can get other style tips for this barrel, or you can do like I've done here, and you can get a tip that allows you to mount an Apex 2 adapter to it, or an Apex 2 adapter, so you can mount an Apex 2 tip to your barrel. I don't have it removed from here right now because I just put it on this thing, but excuse me. With this thing, I can now screw my Big Shot Assault barrel into this, and now I have an Apex ready barrel. So I have a barrel that I already know is really good, is really reliable, accurate, and just really well polished, and I've also added an Apex 2 tip to it. So a really cool concept that you can take a barrel that has a removable tip, and you can add an extra accessory to it that normally you'd have to go out and get a different barrel for. Typically you'd have to go out and get an entirely new barrel. Like this is the Apex BT barrel that came with the Apex 2 tip. And it's a full barrel. I mean, this thing is a full-length barrel that just has those grooves on it, or those notches that are cut out of it, so that it can accommodate or be adapted to the Apex 2 tip. But I just didn't like the length of this thing, so I ended up using it with my Apex, or my Lapco Big Shot Assault barrel instead, since I had the ability to add that additional tip. So I ended up spending a little bit of extra money to do that, but it's just, now it's really cool. Now I can have one barrel that functions, or that performs two different functions. It can be a shorter barrel to keep the length of my marker down, or it can be an Apex 2 ready marker barrel as well. So for those of you that are looking to get into woodsball, or if you're looking to get your first paintball marker, the Tippmann A-5 is a great choice. It's something that you can, it's affordable, it's reliable, easy to maintain, hard to break, and with a little bit of work. I have done no internal modifications to this thing other than just adding a remote line to it. I carry my marker with a remote line versus having a tank screwed into it, and then just getting a new barrel. Just want to screw this thing in. Look how nice that looks now. So it looks better than it did. So the barrel itself just looks nice on there with the standard tip that came with it. And it's still nice and short. I can still tuck myself into corners and things like that if I want to, because the overall length of the marker is smaller than it would be with a long 14-inch barrel or something like that attached to it. Length isn't necessarily always a good thing with paintball guns. Even a lot of people say, well, you need the extra length to give you the additional accuracy. Well, it's kind of debatable. I don't think anybody's really come out and proved that that's the best way to go with it. There are other ways to get additional range out of the marker, like having the Apex 2 tip, or a flatline barrel or something like that. And with this marker, my plans for it are more for close quarters and things like that as well anyway, so I'm not really interested in functioning in a sniper capacity in the first place. With paintball, that's something that you can do, but it's not my preferred style of play. So that's really all I had for this first video. Next time I'll be hopefully unboxing my new TPX or TIPX, which is coming in the mail. So hopefully I'll have that for the next installment here. But for now, this is Kalen with Mongoose PB, wishing you a great day, and I hope to see you out in the field.